The Zerg player has no idea about the third or the fourth, and he's running up now with his Marines to probably die in a fire. Probably going to die, and yes, his Zerglings is going to take out these sacrificial Marines. Bad rally point from the Terran player. Rallying now into center field with a couple of Marines, a couple a siege tank, and some more Thors pouring into center. Interesting thing about this game so far is, despite the fairly high Mutalisk count, 14 for Notorious, there hasn't been any real way for Notorious to gain map control because of the constant aggression from the Terran player. This is an interesting way of dealing with these sorts of Mutalisk harassments because of the fact that if you're constantly in his face, the Zerg player is not going to have the opportunity to run in and do a lot of damage with these Mutalisks. Notorious sending a drone out now, probably going to, yes, taking the expansion here. Moving more Marines up into the center. We see the food count is way high in Notorious's favor, but if you look at the unit counting station, they are even on workers, so the army is much larger for the Zerg player. More Banelings coming into production now, 10 of them in fact. More creep being spread to gain back what was lost when BSoDKaiseR rampaged through central field. We see now 4 siege tanks for the Terran player, 24 Marines, and 3 Thors and 5 medevacs. The fourth base up and operational for the Terran player. Honeycomb of missile turrets going down in case the Mutalisks get any ideas. 27 Mutalisks now for the Zerg player, but they haven't really been doing anything. These are currently a bit of a wasted investment from the Zerg player because they haven't really done anything except, well, they've cleaned up tanks. Okay, so they've done quite a bit. But there's a lot more that they could be doing. They could be harassing this, well, not anymore, but they could be harassing this. They could be attacking here, well, not anymore. They could be harassing here into the main, but there's a lot of turrets up. And no high-sec auto-tracking, but the Terran player moving out for an attack now. Zerg player sees it, transfers all his drones back, and a couple of big siege shots into the third base of the Zerg player. Looking up, he looks like he's gearing up for a counterattack, and gets shot at by the siege tank. Takes out a couple of units. The Thor and the siege tank are going to be taken down. This medevac is going to be destroyed, and the Mutalisk swarm is going to take out that medevac. More siege tanks coming in, sacrificial siege tanks for the Zerg player to destroy, but he doesn't care. He's going straight forward, attacking right into this hatchery here, and he's taking down one of the few remaining mining bases for the Zerg player. His natural is almost mined out, his main is mined out. This side is up, but it's been cut off from his drones have been cut off from this base here by this army, menacing the center for the Zerg player. One drone here remaining, probably going to try and rebuild that hatchery when he gets a chance. Macro hatchery in the center going down. Terran player cutting in between, and probably going to see a flank here by the Zerg player. Terran player needs to siege up now. He sieges up. Mutalisk flying over, magic box. Banelings rolling in, taking out all the Marines, and this army is going to be cleaned up by Notorious, but if you look at the food counts, still amazingly even. And the Terran player is in a dominant position in this game, has this base up, has this base still running. Natural almost mined out. He can transfer workers over. Thor stuck in his main. Medevac rolling out. Look at the unit counting station. 38 Marines, 3 tanks and a Thor against 19 Banelings, 12 Zerglings, and 26 Mutalisks. Mutalisks still haven't done anything. Notorious transferring all his workers over to this side now, building down some extra gas, and another hatchery going down now. See, SCV's transferring over to the right-hand side to build some gas geysers for the Terran player. He's floating 2,500 minerals, but only 202 gas. A lot of Marines built, tanks built, probably could move out to center field again, but he doesn't want to be cut off. He doesn't want to take this position, only to have a bunch of Mutalisks and Zerglings bust in here. So this may be not a bad decision. Loading up in the medevacs and flying over here now. A bunch of spine crawlers going down for Notorious to shut any of that down, and flying his Mutalisks over. This drop is destined for death. Flying straight over the Zerglings. He's going to be destroyed. More Zerglings, more drones transferring back here, taking the base here for the Zerg player. Unloads, and goodbye drop. And good, oh, takes out 1 muta, 2 muta, 3 Mutalisks, and takes out these medevacs. Notorious coming up way ahead now, but given the food differentials, KaiseR will need to continuously throw away units like that for Notorious to come back. Notorious flying his Mutalisks out in center field again. Does he know about... He still does not know about these two bases over here, but he's flying... Oh, no, going to take down that and take the gold. KaiseR moving out yet again with this massive army. Food still remarkably even, 171 for the Zerg player, 191 for the Terran player, but the difference in these workers is all too clear. 88 SCVs to 67 drones. More drones being produced. 3 ups almost done for the Zerg player. 3 1-ups currently for the Terran player. Level 3 vehicle weapons almost completed, and he's going to cut in here and probably go up and go for it and take out this expansion here. But we don't currently know. A couple of Zerglings sitting here doing nothing. Drones sitting here doing nothing for the Zerg player. He's taking the gold. More Banelings, more Zerglings. That is a lot. How many Banelings is it? 34 Banelings. Man, no amount of fancy micro is going to save you against 34 Banelings. And he's going up now, takes down that expansion, moves up onto the high ground, probably going to go for the Zerg's really only real mining base. This is barely saturated. There's a lot of drones over here. Running in now, taking down these spine crawlers. Zerg rushing over to the other side, walks straight into the siege tanks. Lots of damage being dealt by the siege tanks onto the Zerglings. Shoots down the Banelings, and that's going to really, really ruin Notorious's day. Mutalisks flying in, doing no damage. This base getting taken down. And Notorious is now down onto 1 real mining base. I don't see what he can do to come back here. He's on 46 drones compared to KaiseR's 72. 2 Broodlords in production, but he's got no ground army support. He's got 1 Baneling and 2 Zerglings. And KaiseR's coming down here. He's going to take out this base. There's nothing Notorious can do to stop it. And even if he does, there's another army rushing up now from the Terran player. And it's just nothing really that the Zerg can do. We expect to see GG fairly soon here from the Zerg player. Going up here now, spots the Broodlords. Again, he's got 2 Broodlords, 1 Baneling, and 6 Zerglings. There's no support for these Broodlords. A lot of red health Marines, but it doesn't matter because his reinforcements roll in, and he takes down, sieges up into the natural, and we see GG from Notorious as they roll in, and KaiseR telling him, oh, I think I out-expanded you. Notorious says, let's play another map. Kind of ironically, Terran player out-expanding the Zerg, maybe. Might be a bit of irony there, I don't know. But expect to see... There we go, Notorious leaves the game, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I have been SteemDRIce. Hope you enjoyed this cast for SEAL, the Southeast Asia Esports League.